Good afternoon. I know that many of you may be feeling anxious, scared, and frustrated due to the rise of COVID-19 transmission in our community. I'm here today to hopefully ease your minds and calm your fears. Let's talk about what's been happening in our community since we last spoke. Yes, over the past week, we have seen an increase in positive results for COVID-19, which has impacted many in our communities in Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and even Little Cayman, through required isolation, missing work and school, businesses being short-staffed, and many other inconveniences. But while we are all adjusting to these new challenges in our everyday lives, let's take a moment to think about what is not happening. Despite the growing number of cases of COVID-19 in the Cayman Islands, we are not seeing mass hospitalizations. We are not seeing several cases of severe disease. We don't have our intensive care units crowded with sick people requiring ventilators. These are the key indicators for us to watch carefully. There is no doubt, due to our high rate of vaccination, that this is the benefit we are getting. And this is as well down to the responsible and caring behavior displayed by you, our citizens and residents. Thank you all for getting vaccinated, for following safety protocols, and for being committed and conscientious. Community transmission is here. We all must recognize that as we reopen and as we increase testing and reporting, we are going to experience an increase in the number of positives being identified. And yes, many of these positives will be amongst people who are vaccinated. But that is precisely the reason why people got vaccinated. What we all must do now is to stay calm, be reassured, and to accept that if we take all the necessary precautions, this will not create barriers to living a relatively normal daily life. By continuing to take responsibility for ourselves, for our health, for making sure that our families and our friends are informed, acting responsibly, and planning ahead should we have to isolate, a new, successful normal can exist. To be clear, we see this increase in community transmission on all three islands as concerning. But at the same time, it is manageable when you realize that our critical preparedness and response plans are working. Today, we have published a national policy on the use of lateral flow tests, which outlines the evolution of our strategy for detecting and managing COVID-19 in the community. They are easy to use, they're painless, and most importantly, they provide accurate results in under 20 minutes. We were able to use them on all three islands this week to quickly identify positive cases and allow those individuals to safely isolate. I know that receiving news that a member of our household, a relative, friend, or coworker has tested positive for COVID-19 can be a very scary experience. But let us remain strong and do what we can to maintain the safety and hygiene practices we have all become very familiar with. Let us also remain supportive of our loved ones and do our part to safely assist and support those who are isolating to ensure that they comply with public health's instructions. I would also like to ask the community to carefully consider if the activity you want to do or the place you want to go is adhering to the best practices that will keep you safe. It is critical that we as a society understand that we're living in new and sometimes challenging times where COVID-19 directly impacts our way of life. As many of you have seen in various public forums, There have been community cases that have been traced back to social events, to restaurants, bars, clubs, and workplaces. In most of these cases, it comes down to some real truths that are worth calling out in this message. We have all seen people not acting responsibly, ignoring the health and safety guidelines that are in place to help manage the rate of transmission. Whether this is a blatant disregard of these known safety measures or simply circumstantial, it has never been more important for each of us to be vigilant and proactive in doing our part to prevent further spread of the illness. When you see your friends and family out engaging in unsafe practices like not socially distancing in crowded locations, choosing not to wear masks in public places, or generally disregarding the health and safety protocols we put in place to keep us all safe, I implore you to speak up and say something. Have that conversation with them. And if you're contacted by public health, please follow all instructions and isolate immediately. That doesn't mean making a stop here and there on the way home. Maintaining your personal commitment to following the health guidance and acting responsibly while engaging with others helps us to protect the capacity of our healthcare system. This government has continued working with stakeholders, the opposition, the public and private and civic sectors as well, to ensure that we have the best information to make the right decisions for our country. We are actively establishing guidance to those areas in our community that can be most impacted by disruptions from COVID-19. Today, we have also shared the guidance for early childhood care and education centers and schools to address testing in educational centers. This approach to testing, I know, will be welcomed by us all, as it limits the number of individuals that need to be isolated to only the positives versus the entire class once using the testing guidance. With respect to our wonderful sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, I'd like to directly address our friends and family there. We know that the level of concern and anxiety in the sister islands is high due to the current community transmission. Please know that our government has committed all the resources required to support your situation and will continue to do so. So much so that I am extraordinarily proud to see how the community responded to the testing protocols that were executed this past week. We were able to test 719 persons in the sister islands this week in an orderly fashion. Of those tested, we know we have 40 positive cases so far. I want to urge you all to follow the necessary steps to protect yourselves and loved ones by isolating. There are safety regulations in place to protect us all. Wear a mask, social distance while moving about, and continue to practice safety hygiene. For those who may be in quarantine or isolation now, please remember that you are not alone. If you need assistance or you need information, it can and will be provided for you via the proper channels. You can visit www.exploregov.ky to learn more about COVID-19 and the available services of support during isolation. If you or your loved ones are in dire need of support during your isolation, you can contact isolation support at gov.ky or call 946-3530 or 1-800-534-3530. Let me state unequivocally, we are still committed to reopening on November 20th. Since the last press briefing, I am proud to say that we have seen a lot of progress in the implementation of the critical preparedness plans. There have been many people working diligently to ensure that the reopening plan and anything that we do to support the November 20th date is done to the highest standards based on the best advice and purpose-built for our community. As we reopen, we will continue to implement all necessary safety measures to ensure that our residents and our visitors are able to enjoy the unique way of life here in the Cayman Islands in the healthiest and safest possible way. Separately, I'd like to address the misinformation that's been circulating on social media and in chat groups about a potential lockdown in the near future or changes to Phase 4 of our reopening plan. This is false information and fake news, completely inconsistent with the facts. We are not going to go into a lockdown situation, and this is because our readiness and response plans are working. Our community is vaccinated and getting boosters, and while there has been an increase in community transmission, the government is able to respond at the appropriate levels without compromising our healthcare or education systems. The threat of any illness is a scary proposition for anyone. We need to all take personal and collective responsibility for our actions and make the best decisions to keep ourselves and our loved ones healthy. Staying connected with our friends and family is critical to our mental well-being, but doing so responsibly is the key to ensuring that we are not unnecessarily and negatively impacting the healthcare system. In closing, I remain confident in the strength and resolve of the people of the Cayman Islands. There are few places on earth better prepared for this stage of the pandemic. Let us continue to work in a spirit of cooperation as we navigate this phase of our journey. Thank you for your time today, and may God continue to bless each of you, and especially those who are recovering from COVID-19, and may God continue to bless our wonderful Cayman Islands.